Chapter 7. My dinner goes up in smoke. The next few days were a blur of trying to fit in at a summer camp for mythological misfits. I was still officially undetermined, which meant I was a permanent guest in the Hermes cabin, a crowded, noisy, and surprisingly friendly place. Luke was a great counselor, but I was still the new kid who had blown up a bathroom. My reputation preceded me. Every activity I tried was a spectacular failure. Archery? My arrow ended up in another camper's shirt. Foot racing? The wood nymphs left me in the dust, literally turning into trees when they got tired of waiting for me. And wrestling? Let's just say Clarice from the Ares cabin made it very clear that our little bathroom encounter was not forgotten. The only thing I was even remotely good at was canoeing, which felt strangely natural. That night at dinner, the weirdness continued. We all sat at our cabin tables in the open-air dining pavilion. I was at the Hermes table, crammed in with dozens of other kids. In the center of the pavilion was a huge bronze brazier, flames crackling toward the sky. Kieran stood and raised his glass. "To the gods," he said. Everyone else raised their glasses and repeated, "To the gods." My goblet was empty. Luke leaned over and said, "Just tell it what you want, Percy." Non-alcoholic, of course. I thought, a blue cherry Coke. And just like that, the glass filled with fizzy, bright blue liquid. It was a small thing, but it felt like magic. After we got our food, a pretty normal barbecue spread, Luke told me we had to make an offering. One by one, campers from each table would walk up to the bronze brazier and scrape a portion of their meal into the fire. "It's a sacrifice," he explained. "The gods like the smell." "You're kidding," I said. He just shook his head. When it was my turn, I walked up to the fire, my plate of brisket feeling heavy in my hands. The smoke didn't smell like burning food. It smelled like every good thing I could imagine. Hot chocolate, fresh baked bread, a summer barbecue. I scraped off the best slice of brisket and let it fall into the flames. I talked to my dad for the first time in my life. "Whoever you are," I thought, directing my words into the smoke, "let me know. Please, send me a sign." The smoke coiled into the shape of a flower, then vanished. I felt a pang of loneliness so sharp it almost buckled my knees. I thought of my mom and wondered if she was in the underworld, and if the gods I was sacrificing my dinner to were the same ones who ruled that place. After dinner, Mr. D made some announcements, mostly complaining about a volleyball net and mispronouncing my name as Perry Johnson again. Then Chiron announced that the Council of Cloven Elders had reviewed Grover's performance. My heart sank. I thought he was going to get in trouble because of me, but Chiron smiled. "Grover Underwood," he announced, "has been granted his official searcher's license." The whole pavilion erupted in applause. Grover, who was sitting with a few other satyrs, looked like he was going to faint from happiness. I caught up with him later by the campfire. "A searcher's license," I said. "That's great, man." "It's my life's dream, Percy," he said, his eyes shining. He explained that for thousands of years, satyrs had been searching for the great god of the wild Pan. The stories said Pan had disappeared, but the satyrs believed he was just sleeping, and that a chosen searcher would one day find him and bring the world back to a wilder, better age. "But the search is dangerous," he added, his tone becoming serious. "No one who has gone out in the last 2,000 years has ever come back. My dad, my uncle, they never returned." He looked out at the dark woods, and I realized how brave my goofy, nervous friend really was. Later that night, I was sitting on the steps of the Hermes cabin, feeling more alone than ever. Luke came and sat next to me. "Tough first day?" he asked. I shrugged. "I don't belong here. I don't even know who my dad is." Luke stared up at the stars. "The gods are busy, Percy. They have a lot of kids, and they don't always pay attention. Sometimes they don't claim you. It's not your fault." He looked down at the scar on his face, and a shadow of bitterness crossed his features. "My dad is Hermes, big-time messenger god. You'd think he'd at least send a text message once in a while. But no, I'm just another kid he left behind." His words hung in the air. It was the first time I'd heard anyone here say something that wasn't full of praise for the gods. "What about Annabeth?" I asked, changing the subject. What's her deal? Luke's expression softened. Annabeth's been here since she was 7, Percy. She's had a rough life. She's desperate to prove herself, to go on a real quest. That's why she's so interested in you. A new, powerful half-blood. She thinks you might be her ticket out of here, her chance for glory. It all clicked into place. The interrogation, the way she watched me. She wasn't just curious. She was strategic. I went to bed that night in my borrowed sleeping bag on the floor of a crowded cabin. I was at the one place in the world I was supposed to belong, and I had never felt more like an outsider. I didn't know who I was or what I was capable of. All I knew was that I was a long, long way from home. In Chapter 7,